Welcome, everybody, to Coming Home with John Allen. This is the segment called COMIN HOME COMMENTARY. Now, today's comments are going to be based upon a clip from an earlier episode that I had with Hans Jakob Winsness. Here it is.
Yeah, but my point is that if my view is my life is hard because of someone else did to me, it has taken away first it has taken away the power for me to change it.
Yeah, but where's your nuance? Cannot both be true? That I could not buy a house because of racism, but I also have some responsibility in that how I reacted to that. And I'll tell you the story and things like that. What cannot both be true?
Yes,
You're speaking in absolutes.
No.
If someone hollers out about racism, that doesn't mean that's the only issue.
Of course, both can be true. But the thing is that if you focus too much on the problems out there, it takes away, because, for example,
but how much is too much? There are problems out there. Again,
of course.
If we don't have discussions like this, which I love. Jonathan Charles Hall, over to you. What are your thoughts on this clip?
Wow. I've got a lot going around in my head right now. Yes, directly to the clip. I want to address specifically what he talked about there, which is the issue of victimhood. The word victim is a real word, and it's an important word that has several shades of meaning. You could talk about a victim, like myself, for example. A couple of years ago, I fell off a ladder, hurt myself really badly, and it was stupid. It was YouTube stupid. But I ended up, I couldn't work for 6 weeks or something. Broken ribs, a lot of pain, a lot of physical trauma. I was a victim of my own stupidity. Okay, do I define myself as a victim?
Right.
No, I do not. Did it have real world consequences? Could I go to work? No. Could I, I could just barely take care of myself for the first 3 weeks. I was lucky, I didn't get killed or anything, but okay, then the other side. And this goes to nuance, which I'm going to get to. There's a spectrum of victimhood. At the other end, think about the lady in Las Vegas, 30-year-old mother of two, who got shot in a massacre. One of several hundred people who were injured in that massacre. Is paralyzed from the neck down, will never walk again, will never be able to hug her kids. What is her degree of victimhood?
No, I'm sorry. I just wanted to interject here. Isn't it something that the political and social right will use that word victimhood as if it's a new concept that the left has come up with in order to justify laziness or lack of success? Right. Victimhood is a reality. The question is it a passing circumstance or is it a more permanent circumstance? And then the question on top of that is, can the victim take any fault, or how much fault does the victim take in that? How much fault does the system take in causing that victimhood, or if not causing the victimhood, causing the length or severity of that period of victimhood?
Yep. Exactly. We hear it used all the time that, if you look at yourself as a victim, it's your own fault. If you see yourself as a victim, you've given up all your power, to quote your guest there.
Right.
Other victims, I mean, the extremes, but you have to say that there's a whole spectrum of people who end up being victims.
Right.
And one very good example of that is people with depression. They see themselves as victims.
Good point.
And that it's a
Good point.
result of a variety of factors in their heads,
Yes.
chemical and biological factors, life situation. Does it have real world consequences? It absolutely does. They miss lots of opportunities. They
Absolutely.
ruin a lot of situations and relationships. Um,
Yeah.
so and
And I think for someone to say that a person in that condition, it's their own fault. That demands a certain degree of heartlessness that seems to be prevalent on the right side of the political socio spectrum. It's a sad situation that so many Americans have become split by that heartlessness.
Yes, exactly. It seems heartless. It seems unempathetic. It seems and it seems maladaptive. It seems like it's working against
Absolutely.
society and yourself. I only want to continue with this victim thing, and then I have a second point that's really quite important. And victimhood. At what point do you give up and define yourself as a victim?
Right.
The woman in the wheelchair, the person on the boxcar being sent to a death camp, as the other side seems to like to refer to the Holocaust often. At what point do you determine that, there is nothing I can do about this situation? Absolutely nothing. I'm helpless, and I can, at that point, define myself as a victim.
Yeah.
Okay. To my second point.
1 second. Before you go to your second point, I want to support what you're saying by giving an example that has come up daily, several times a day since that episode with my good guest, Hans Jakob Winsness. People are rising out of the woodwork, especially on YouTube, and saying that I am a black man with a victim mentality. And my response to that has been and will be that, yes, I have been a victim of racism and racist incidents. I have been a victim of racism. However, I have been victorious over that. Just look at my life situation. I don't believe that one excludes the other. It is possible to be, in my case, it is possible to be a victim of racism and yet be victorious over that or those incidences of racism. Please go on to your next point.
Well, I felt, now this goes to arguments from the right and semantics and debate techniques. I felt that you handled the situation beautifully. I'm afraid I would not have done that.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
I'm afraid that I would have exploded. But I went through sort of 3 stages of grief. I felt, first I said, he's having you on. He's pulling your leg. He can't be thinking like this. Okay. And then I went further on and I said, well, John's not pushing back. He's not being hard enough on him. But you got,
I was accused of being rude to him.
But you got in a bunch of good points. And then the third thing is, well, that's just the way many people on the right debate. And you notice I say many people. I don't,
yes.
I try to hedge my arguments as well as I can and never say the word all or everyone or every time. And that is something that got repeated again and again during your conversation from Hans Erik.
Hans Jakob.
Hans Jakob, sorry. And I think that this gets to the heart of a really serious problem we're dealing with, which is just two different mindsets, two different psychologies that we're living with and grappling with. And I think that in different degrees, people on the right talk in absolutes. They say everyone who sees themselves as a victim is giving up their power. They don't mind. Very often, they don't mind uh, just leaving out facts, cherry picking arguments, and that's a problem that we're grappling with in the whole debate over culture and racism. Yeah.
Well, it is a big issue. It is a big debate. We are grappling with it. We're grappling with it here and in the broader spectrum of my program, Coming Home with John Allen. Thank you so much for your commentary, Jonathan Hall.
Well, thank you, John. Nice to be here.